Hey guys, how you doing today? I am going to do a care video on my spider plants. This one is a variegated spider plant. She's really pretty. I love the spider plant. It's very classic. They've been around for a gazillion years. My mom always had one when I was growing up, and it was always big and huge and beautiful and always had babies coming down out of it, and she'd make more spider plants with the babies. I mean, she had these things everywhere. Now there's also the variegated one. There's a green one, which I have both. I probably should have brought that one in too, but I didn't. I didn't think about it. But they're all pretty much the same care. Um, they all like to be in very bright light. No sun or that's going to burn, but very bright indirect light. Like I keep mine in a west window. She gets a little bit of sun coming in on her late in the afternoon, but not for very long, maybe an hour or so. But I've never had any issues with her burning from that sunlight. Um, and as far as the care goes, I mean, she's pretty darn simple. You give her some bright light and just let her go. I mean, you can see mine, these were all babies off of my actual mother plant, and she's actually bigger than my mother plant is now, which is crazy. And I actually have to repot that spider plant. That is going to be a video coming up very soon because I really need to get on top of that and repot her. I have to find a bigger pot for her. But anyways, very bright light. You want to let this plant dry down completely before you water her again. Um, these kind of plants, like with many others, they have like a root, and then they have like a bulbous water reservoir that hangs off of them, and that is their water storage. So you want to make sure that you're letting this plant dry completely down before you're watering her again. Because if you overwater her, she will not do good. You're gonna get, I've owned so many spider plants in my days, and I don't care whether it's this kind or what kind you have, you're gonna get these little brown edges or tips. You know, you're gonna get them. It happens. That's what the plant does. I just take and I pinch, like when I'm watering, I just go around and anything I see, I just pinch the tip off. Nothing to it. Like right here is a yellowing leaf. I'm going to pinch that off. There's some dry leaves back here. I just kind of go around, pull them out. There's another tip. Just pinch it off or cut it. You know, whatever you want to do. If it bothers you. Mine don't really bother me because I've had spider plants for so many years that it just, that's what you get with a spider plant. I mean, there's really no getting around the brown tips. Not that I know of. So, yeah, just don't sweat the brown tips. I mean, it happens. No plant is perfect. They're living in our homes, and our home environment is so much different than outside. And even outside, plants get brown tips and leaves die off. It's just all part of it. They old leaves die back and new ones grow. It's the way it kind of goes with nature. And then the green one is pretty much the same. Once again, bright light, bright indirect light, for her to really do well. Now the green one, you can pull back a little farther away from the light and she will do okay, but if you really want your spider plants to thrive, they really do need bright indirect light and letting them both to dry all the way down. And as far as feed, I just sprinkle worm castings in once a month. Um, and then when she gets watered, I take mine in the shower and I just shower the whole plant, get the leaves all clean from dust, um, get her watered in really well, let her drip dry really well, and then that's it. She gets fish fertilizer. Like when I go around, even if she doesn't really need to have some water, I just very lightly will put a little bit of fish emulsion from my watering can into her pot, but I don't drench it. I find this plant really doesn't need a whole lot of fertilizer, but it does okay with organics. I don't know anything about synthetic fertilizers, so I'm not even going to get into synthetic fertilizer. I don't use them on my house plants. I do use them on my orchids, but that's a whole different story. I use worm castings and I use fish emulsion, so um, that's really about it with a spider plant. I mean, the more you ignore her, the more beautiful she is. Don't overwater it. Don't let her go too long without water once she dries out, because she will also have a fit and she will get more brown um, tips if you let it. And a lot of your foliage will die back if you let her go too long without water. And the same thing will happen if you overwater her. So I just I don't use a water meter or anything. I just lift my pot up, and if it's light, it's time for watering. If it's still kind of heavy, like right now, she's still kind of heavy, so I will not water her today. I'll wait and check her in a few more days, um, and I'll just take her in, throw her in my shower, give her a nice shower, give her a nice rinse off, and she's ready to go. So that's pretty much it. The spider plant is very, whether it's the variegated one or the green one, pretty much the same care for both. And when the babies, like right now, she's got, where's the other one? Because she's young. She's actually, these were all starts from my mother plant, but she started making babies. So she's got a few, not many. But the babies are very nice. If you can see, they get little roots coming out. See all the little roots? And now what I like to do with my babies is I cut, like see right here is a secondary baby, and she's not big enough. Um, but I would cut under and cut the whole stem. Can you guys see? I can't really see. And I would cut under that, cut the whole stem, leave that stem on from here down, because the baby will use that stem to feed off of. It'll turn yellow eventually, but the baby will suck up the nutrients from that existing stem from mother, and then you can propagate in water, you can propagate in sphagnum. If the roots are really long, if you leave them on your mother plant long enough, and they're really long, you can put them right into soil, but you've got to keep that soil moist until those roots get long enough. But I think that these are better off propagated in water or spag, because you do want to keep them wet for a while. And then once the stem dies back and turns brown or yellow, you can put them in, go ahead and put your baby in a pot when her roots get pretty long. I'd say about, I don't know, about a half an inch or so. Don't let them in water too long, because then they produce water roots, and it's hard to get a plant. If you let the water roots or spag roots get too long, it will be hard for the plant to convert over from water or spag roots over into soil roots. They're very different root system. So you just want to be careful and not let your plant's roots get too big and either medium and then put them over into soil, because they will kind of die back and rot off. in order to make new soil roots. So, anyways, I know I probably just really confused you there, but I hope not. So that is it on the spider plant, guys. It's very classic. I love it. I have them all over my house. I just can't get enough of the spider plants. I really like them. And if they get to be too big for you in a pot, you can take them out and repot them and separate them. And they usually do really good. She might look kind of floppy for a while and pout, but they will bounce back. So just be careful you're not pulling off the tubular. It's like a white tubular. Any of you guys have a spider plant, and you've repotted, you've seen the tubular roots on this thing. It has small roots, and then it has big, thick, like a bulbous root on it, and those actually store water for the plant. That's why you can let it dry down so much. But make sure you're not cutting those off when you're repotting. Try to keep them intact with the plant, because that's very important to the plant. The plant has them there for a reason. So yeah, if you guys get a chance to get a spider plant and grow it, and you have a really high light area that you can put her in, I guarantee you will love having a spider plant. They are beautiful. And then when they start getting big enough and mature enough, they start growing the babies down, and I like to let mine get a little root bound. You don't want to go overboard with them being root bound, because then all you'll get done doing is watering them all the time, because they don't have enough soil in the pot. But don't ask me where the soil goes. That is a huge mystery. I guess it just goes away through watering and everything. The soil seeps out little by little. But that's my only conclusion to that story. But yeah, guys, if you get a chance to get a spider plant, they are very, very beautiful. I love them, and I have them like pretty much all over my house, in the bright areas where I can keep them. So, and they do grow really well under a grow light situation too. So, I grew one last year under a grow light. It was actually just a 100-watt LED bulb, and it did great. So, it wasn't like a fancy full spectrum grow light. It was just a regular 100-watt LED light, and this plant did really well. Well, it wasn't this plant, it was a different one. But it did pretty good for me, so I was really happy with that. But alright guys, I am going to let you go. If you got any requests for plant care on a plant, of course, that I would have to have, and at least have been growing it for a year. I don't want to do any plant care videos on a new plant that I just have and I know nothing about it really, so... But let me know down in the comment section, and I will make a list, and I'll start doing those plants for plant care if I have them. So, alright guys, I will talk to you later. Y'all have a great day. Bye. Peace.